Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. In today's episode, we're going to revisit the Boox Poke 2, the 6-inch e-reader from Boox that came out a couple of years ago. And this one, personally, I have owned for well over 2 years now. I think 2.5 years or something like that. And I thought it would be a good thing to actually just revisit this device after 2.5 years and see how it held up. Alright, and here is my Poke 2. As you can see, the adhesive still works and holds normally. So I have been doing this over the course of 2.5 years for quite a while, and the adhesive tape still holds really well. The device, the cover itself is really good, even though I have carried it outdoors, indoors, well, of course indoors, but outdoors as well. It was in the rain, it fell a couple of times, but actually none of those things, none of the scuffs actually show, which is rather interesting. Now, I haven't been scratching it with keys or anything like that, so I do pay attention to these things and I try to keep them nice and maintain them, but this one has held really well over the course of time. The device itself, as well, as you can see, it doesn't have any blemishes, any marks, any cracks, or anything like that. It functions perfectly normally as it did before, and I really love how it looks and feels even after many devices that came after it that are like direct competitors. I think that they just managed to get things right visually, both design, style, colors, and everything. There's just something about this little black outline and the contrast of the gray that just works really well. So Poke 2 has received updates as every other device as well. It doesn't receive an Android system update, but it does receive the OS updates. And as you can see, I had it on the build 3.2.2, but it has received an update 3.3 here, so it is current with the updates as well, which is a very good thing to see after 2.5 years. And the performance is pretty much exactly the same as it always was. So it didn't slow down, it didn't go bad, the screen is equally good, the uniformity of the front light is equally really good as it always was. The front lights separately, they all work exactly the same as before. So basically, in all accounts, the device has remained as responsive, as good, and as functional as the day I bought it. Actually, it works a little bit better because the updates have improved a little bit of a performance. We have cleaner icons now, so that especially is true for the 6-inch display. They're a little bit more crisper, and that's something that's quite nice. And as you can see, the performance of just navigating and doing things on the device is really responsive and really good. Opening up a really large document like this has 769 pages, and I didn't open it up in this session, so this was a cold boot, first time opening this document, and it's just super responsive. I am in speed mode, so there we go. That's what usually I use when I do these kinds of things, and it just really works. The other thing that I absolutely adore about this one is that you can just flip it into a landscape mode and put the formatting so that you fit the page width, and then suddenly it becomes this really super usable document for or a reader for even small documents that are not formatted there, not maybe well suited to a small format such as the 6 inches is. One thing that I do miss and I wish that Poke 2 had is the auto rotation. So I wish it had that functionality, but unfortunately it doesn't. So that's something that definitely would have been a nice thing for it to have. However, readability, as you can see, and functionality, all of it is pretty much spot on and just works as you would expect it to. So the performance is great, the OS is current, the screen is equally good, and actually you get a little bit of a better impression because of the improved icons. The front light functions as it should. So the only thing that people were mentioning over time is like, oh, the battery is terrible on my Poke after like 6 months. I honestly don't know what the case is here, when occasionally you hear somebody says for any device, but Boox included, where it's like, oh yeah, I bought it and after 3 months my battery is not longer working. I have had now quite a few Boox devices personally owned and used for an extended period of time, multiple years. This one, for example, is I think 2.5 years or thereabouts. And I've measured the battery performance of it thoroughly with the auto page turn, and I still get absolutely fantastic results with it. So with the front light off, I get 75 hours approximately of reading time per charge. With the front light at around 30%, it's about 50 hours of reading time. And if you use it at something like more comfortable front light at around maybe 15 to 20%, you're looking at around 58 to 60 hours of reading time, and that is a prolonged test. I let it flip pages for 11 hours to get a more accurate average. And even then, you get an average of, I mean, in 11 hours, it spent 19% of the battery consistently flipping pages for 11 hours. Now, that is my own personal case, and this is a device that I use. So this is a device that I normally use before the bed to read. When I go camping, I have it for reading. When I go anywhere, basically it's there just as a backup thing. So if I'm waiting for something, I just whip it up and continue reading, or even browse sometimes, because it does have a browser and everything like that. So I don't know what the case is, but in my own personal case, on my own personal Boox Poke 2, the battery life is excellent, and it is as excellent as it was 2.5 years ago. Well, okay, so in my personal case, my own personal device that I have used quite a bit, and this is pretty much between Kobo Libra and this one, I was using this one mostly outdoors and whenever I was going somewhere. And this one traveled the most as well with me. And I honestly don't see any difference in the performance of this device from when I bought it new. The screen works fine, the device works fine, it hasn't slowed down, I haven't had any physical malfunctions, no battery problems whatsoever. And yeah, basically it's just exactly the same as it was when I bought it new. And that's after 2.5 years and quite a lot of hours of use. I'm really happy that the adhesive tape still works and holds really, really well. And yeah, that just allows me the ability to kind of, as you can see, holds really, really well. Still, doesn't leave marks. Normal adhesive still there, and when I want to use it at night, I just use it without this cover, as it's actually much thinner and it just slips underneath my pillow when I'm done reading much more easily. I think that the design is, even today, brilliant. I absolutely loved the colors, the materials, design, and even if it came out today, I would equally like it and it would feel contemporary even now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that this one turned out to be a good device over an extended period of time for me. So my own personal experience is zero faults, zero problems, and I'm still as happy with the Poke 2 today as I was 2.5 years ago. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell to get notified when new videos come out on My Deep Guide. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.